And so in this week's interview, I sat down with Mike Hayes, which he runs a program called CMC, Coach Mike's Corner. And what his program does is it helps a bunch of young men inside of our school systems to be able to take accountability for their actions, to start thinking through a lot of today's issues and a lot of the issues that they may have within themselves and that they can probably cast on to other people. So he's been running this program for 3 years now. And so he's the founder and he's also a mentor inside of the program. And so I had the opportunity to sit down with Mike and we just kind of discussed some things that got him into this program, things that he does within the program, and then just some of the day-to-day things that he's doing. And then also, a lot of y'all may know Mike from just being in the gym. He's a gym enthusiast, gym shark. He's always getting it in. And so, we kind of laugh and joke about some of the things that kind of got him into doing that or whatever. And so, yeah, I hope you will enjoy this interview, and thanks for watching. But let's go ahead and get to this interview. So what's your name and where are you from?
So my name is Mike Hayes. My students call me Coach Mike. Born and raised Louisville, Kentucky. Louisville native, baby.
Okay, so you said your students call you Coach Mike.
Yeah.
So what type of coach are you? Like what type of business are you in, Mike?
So I get that question asked all the time. So how I got the name, my daughters were at a school and they asked me to do the track and the PE class and all of the different things because it was a new school. And so I was just like, yeah, I help out, do it, not thinking nothing of it. Went in there, did the PE class, coached the track team, and then the kids started calling me Coach Mike. And I said, hey, man, I kind of like it. It stuck, so that's what everybody calls me.
That's what's up, man. Yeah. So, Mike, bro, I've been knowing you for a minute, man. You've been getting it in. You've been hustling. You've been doing your thing, man. Yeah. And so I know you be around with the schools and stuff, man. I know a lot of people, see this video might recognize you from probably being in their school and stuff. So Can you explain to us a little bit of, like, what your business is and what it is that you do in the schools, how you looking to help people?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, my main thing is to be the person that I wish I would have had when I was growing up. I want to empower these young men to, just be everything that God created them to be, man. Like, it's nothing too deep, nothing too crazy, you know what I mean? I just want to be there for them, be present, just show them that somebody cares and that they,
Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah. So man, that's dope, man. I know you always on the move. So what grades are you working with when you are in these schools?
Pretty much all school age. So from elementary all the way up to high school. And we have some mentees who are in college that we kind of just walking through. Mm-hmm. Some of them getting their doctor's degree. Mm-hmm. I work with them through some of the nonprofits that I work with, that I'm in contract with.
Okay.
And so, yeah, man.
And so, Mike, tell me a little bit about your upbringing. I know you said, your job is kind of spearheaded off of some of the things you wish you would have had growing up. Yeah. Can you kind of explain a little bit of your upbringing to me?
Yeah, man. First off, I want to say I love my daddy. I love you, Pop. So if you see this, know that ain't nothing, you feel me?
Yeah.
But nah, I got to tell the story, man. It's a part of my testimony.
We all got our stories.
Yeah, man. He wasn't there. Just kind of grew up without my dad. My mom was there. Loved my mama. She raised us really well. But it was some things lacking that I wish I would have had, growing up, where it just created a lot of unnecessary struggles. Something that I read to the kids a lot it's my favorite book, Dr. Seuss, Are You My Mother?
Okay.
And it starts off with a bird in a tree. Uh-huh. Well, a mother bird in a tree with her egg. And she says, you know what? When he hatches, he going to be hungry. So let me go out and let me fly away. Let me go out and get some food. Uh-huh. So it's kind of a metaphor to the kids. It's like where they relate to it. It's like, hey, man, mama by herself, she got to go work. I'm by myself now, right? So the bird hatches and falls out of the tree. And the first thing he sees is like a dog or a cat, right? And he's like, where are you? Who am I? Like, are you my mother? Right? And so it's a lot of things that we ask that we try to find it. Well, because of the lack of our fathers in the household, we search for that identity. Mm-hmm. And so when the bird failed, that was the first thing that he was doing, was searching. Hey, who am I? What's my name? Are you my mom? Right? And so he had a lot of these different people, a lot of these different characters, telling him like, hey, I'm not your mama. I ain't your mama. Unfortunately in life, though, when we get out on our own,
Man.
they gonna tell you.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, even though they know you ain't street or they know you ain't this and they know you ain't that, they gonna say you are, just for you can be with them, right? And so a lot of us fall into that gap, you know what I mean, without people there to tell us who we are. Like your father's supposed to be that person there that's gonna like instill that, give you that foundation of just identity and things like that. And so, yeah, man, a lot of us go by the wayside trying to figure out life.
Definitely,
You know
man,
what
and
I'm
I
saying?
can relate, man. I think we had talked similar to that, you know, in the shop and stuff or whatever. And so like definitely I can relate to that story because I think sometimes we spend a lot of times just being a lot of things that we are not. And you know, sometimes, you know, I think, you know, even for myself when having my first little girlfriend, you know, I wanted to treat her like a wife, and my friends are like, hey, you know, did you? And I'm like, hey, bro, I didn't know I was supposed to, but you know, it just happens like that. So, you know, going through that, and I know all of us have those things of like searching who we are and stuff or whatever. But Mike, can you tell me like what was one of your major turning points in life? You know, I know you done probably a lot of different things or whatever. We talked a lot off camera and stuff or whatever about a lot of stuff. But like what do you feel like was like a major turning point in your life or whatever?
Man,
to change you up.
I've had so many pivotal points, but I think the first one though, that really just got me on the road to just self discovery and things like that is playing football. I played at U of L, and I did really well, and then I got hurt.
Yeah.
And shoot, man, my whole life flashed before my eyes when they told me I couldn't play ball no more, and you know, we put so much of our identity, like I said, because we didn't have, you know, nobody to tell us. So we found it in different things. I found mine in football. And, excuse me. And so when it was taken away from me, it was like my identity was taken away from me. My purpose was taken away from me. You know, I found my purpose in the things that I did rather than who created me. And so it just, man, it sent me down a downward spiral. But thank God, man, he showed me a lot of grace because I met some guys, told me about Jesus. You know, I ended up finding my identity, who I am, and just solidified my place in this world.
Definitely, man, dope, man. I'm glad for the turning point myself, man. I know y'all been, so I'm glad for the turning point, man. So, Mike, jumping to the next question, like, what is your business? So, is it like is it for profit or nonprofit, or like, do you have a little bit of both? Or whatever?
I get that question I ask all the time. So it's a for profit, but I contract out to nonprofits like B-Man, Black Male Equity Network, who I work with a lot. They do a great job. We collab, we team up, our curriculums kind of mesh together, and we do a lot of great work together. And so I just contract with different nonprofits from here in Louisville all the way to from to Indiana, New Albany, with the housing authority over there, and so that's pretty much it.
Mike, like when you go into these schools, you and anybody that you are partnering with, what does a typical session look like? So, you know, like how long is it, or what type of activities are y'all doing in each of these sessions that you have?
Yeah, so I mean, a typical session might look like. It varies with different schools because some schools we get a little bit more time with them. I know in the high schools we get a little bit more time. So we can dive deep into just how they doing. We always do a wellness check. Just check on just make sure they know they care for. They know that hey, you got people that you can talk to if you need to, and then we just pour into them as far as how they emotionally, how they handling themselves. One of the things that I really harp on is I tell them, I say, it's only one woman that you take care of more, your mama. And they like, what, who, Coach Mike? And I said, that's her. And they like, her, what are you talking about? I said, not H-E-R, H-U-R. It says how you respond. You take care of her, she'll take care of you. And so that's kind of, I kind of asked them, hey, what are you going through today? What's the challenges you're going through? How did you respond? Right? Did you take care of her? And I asked them, we go through different, scenarios and things like that. And then we get into the curriculum for whatever it is in the season.
That's pretty dope, man. I think just making men just take accountability and responsibility for the things that they doing, getting
They don't know that. Like I tell them, man, your life is based off of the decision that you make. you know. And so for us to give them the key ideas for, or give them a great foundation for making better decisions, I think it changed their lives dramatically. You know, I know it would have kept me from some unnecessary struggles, you know. So yeah.
Definitely, definitely. So, man, I thank you for like all the work that you're doing, all the stuff that you're doing. You know, as far as just talking to a lot of these young men, putting in the extra time, because I know a lot of this, man. You wore out, man. You got a lot of
Oh
stuff
yeah.
going on,
Oh
man.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
and so like I know that there's a need in this area, and thank you for doing the stuff that you are doing. Like, what advice would you give somebody who's looking to step into something similar like that? Whether it might be, you know, a man mentoring young men or a woman mentoring young women. Like, what type of advice would you give for somebody who's even looking to get started in any of this stuff?
Man, that's a great question. So when I first asked, Dr. Randy called me. He is one of the founders of B-Man. He called me about three and a half years ago when they started their nonprofit to come out and speak, and I was just like, I don't got nothing to offer. Like what? Like what am I gonna tell these kids,
Yeah,
man?
yeah.
You know, and especially at that time, I'm
Yeah.
struggling with this, that, and the other.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I would want what he encouraged me with, and I want to encourage the other mentors or people who planning on helping kids or helping people. You have something to offer. Your story, is what you offer. And sometimes it's just your presence, just being there, right? But also, I teach the kids this as well as my other mentors that I train. So one of the things that I teach my students as well as the mentors is to think fast. It's an acronym which stands for think like a farmer, athlete, a soldier, and a teacher. And you take on these attributes, right? For a farmer, as for example, when they plant a seed, they don't know it's growing. It's in the dirt. But they are consistent in watering it. They believe what they're doing will bear its fruit one day, right? And so sometimes you will get out there and you'll be talking to some kids and you feel like, man, this ain't hitting at all. They not listening to me. And then a year down the road, that kid will come up to you and say, hey, you said such and such and such. And it really just changed my world and my way of thinking, So thinking like a farmer, it takes time to bear those seeds. So just be consistent.
Yeah, definitely. Dope, man. So with all of this stuff, trying to balance all of this stuff, do you have a family of your own or anything?
Yeah, I do, man. I do. I got a family of my own, 3 daggone crazy kids, my babies, you know what I'm saying? 2 girls, 1 boy. They off at the beach right now, so enjoying themselves.
Yeah, definitely, man. So I appreciate you taking this time to be with me, man. Your family's on the beach and stuff, man.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
But yeah, man. So like, what message would you give to like even your kids? And I know like even us as parents, as we raising our children, we try not to do what we do in vain and stuff.
Sure.
Like, what type of message would you give like your kids if your kids had to watch this video 30 years from now, and say if you 40 years from now, whatever, anytime where you just couldn't talk to them at this moment, but and they all they could see was this video. Like, what type of message would you just like want to give your kids, man?
You know what? I think they would know this, actually. But I tell them, you love God, you love people, and then you have fun. Once you do them first 2, you can do what you want to do. As long as you honoring God with the things that you're aspiring towards, as long as you honoring and loving people, man, you can have fun. Enjoy your life.
Yep.
And so that's about it, man. It ain't about perfection, it's about direction.
Yeah. So, man, where can people find you at? Like, what are you on social media anywhere? Is it any way somebody can contact you? And I know, you just in schools, in and out of schools, and like how can people get in contact with you?
The best way to get in contact with me is through email, coachmikescorner23@gmail.com. For any nonprofits willing to put some work in, we can team up and do some great things in the city.
And so for anybody who is interested, even if you didn't write it down, I'm putting those links into the description, so you'll be able to contact him. And then also feel free to leave comments on the videos. And, I know like Mike sometimes watches the videos and different stuff like this, and then I can relay any messages that need to be relayed and stuff. And like he said, you know where to contact him at. like you said, you used to play for Louisville, man. I know
Yeah.
you've been getting it in lately at the gym and stuff, real
Good
tough,
God.
man. So, like, what's some of your motivation, bro, for getting it in, man? I know a story. I know one story when you was telling me why you trying to get back in shape and stuff and do your thing, man. You know what I'm saying? But like, what's your real motivation behind a lot of what you doing, man? You know, I know you've been hard. A lot of people looking at this video, I know will see you from putting in work at the gym and getting it in all the time consistently. So what's your motivation with man?
Which is so crazy
Yeah.
because that started from, being with the boys and they challenged me to some push-ups. And I'm telling you, I was so confident. I got down on that floor and couldn't do 20. I was so embarrassed, bro. And the thing is, they know I play football. They know that I got an athletic background, and they was just like, they was just like, Coach Mike, like, what's happening? You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm 250 something at the time, not thinking nothing of it, and shoot. Somebody had to change, bro. Somebody had to shake. I had to get in the gym, man, and that's turned into something crazy. Right? So I ended up losing almost 60 pounds.
Mm-hmm. Congratulations, bro.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah. And that's, credited to my boys, man. So they got me together. I told him, I said, look, cuz, I said, man, one day I seen him in the gym, and I said, I want to look just like you. I said, whatever you doing, I want to do. Whatever you eating, I want to eat. Like, let me do it. And, man, it's crazy. So it started out just me and him working out, getting in shape, and now it's turned into a whole thing, a whole movement, man. So, man, we going to gym and doing our buddies' workouts, and they're doing our workouts. And, man, it's great.
So, like, if somebody wanted to come work out with you, man, I know y'all be getting it in. Like, like where you work out at, man? Where you getting it in at, man?
Man, they don't pay me.
Like, how can somebody get in contact? Like, are you open to, like, even help some people? I know there's a lot of people who just get motivated off of just seeing like how you got motivated off of your friends. So like, if somebody really wanted to just like, okay, man, I'm about to get on this, man. Like, is that something that you do? Do y'all offer any type of things to help people? or whatever?
We do. So it's 3 ways you can get a hold of us. So my Instagram is Mike Hayes, Hazze 23. You got 502 Trayvon, and you got Ripped Rain that you can go and contact. You can DM us, whatever you need. Just tell us, your history, your athletic history. And we can send you workouts. You can come in, work out with us. We'll send you our schedule. But we're doing it for fun. We're doing it for empowerment. You know what I mean? We recently lost a friend of ours. Man, this dude's shredded, and you would think looking at him physically that he just had it all together. But a lot of, something that people don't talk about is that a lot of motivation coming to the gym is depression, bro. And we'll play around with it. And they'll ask us, man, how you get looking like that? And I say, hard work and a little depression. You know what I'm saying? But, seriously, dude, they come in there thinking that that's going to, fix their problems, or it's a place to just escape. Rather, so we just, not only work out, but we read together. We do motivation, devotions, and we look at motivational speeches together. We do all kinds of things like that together just to empower us to grow us from the inside out, not just the outside in.
Man, dope. So that's a perspective that I never really considered, going to the gym and stuff. And like you said, you see a lot of people really getting it in, but you never really considered the mental aspect of it, man. And I know even for myself, man, being able to get to the gym and work out, it just feels good just being able to get in there and stuff. But like what you said, I think just the challenging of the things that people go through, and I think people use different outlets to do a lot of different things. But man, anyway, man, like, I'm not gonna keep you, man. I appreciate you sliding through and stuff like this, man.
We chop it up all the time, man. We do this forever.
So like I said, anybody who wants to reach Hayes, all you got to do is just look into the description, and everything will be, you can click on some of the links and stuff that we'll have provided. And but anyway, Mike, hey, thanks for sliding through, man. Or I slid through your way. And hey, man, I appreciate the love, man. I appreciate you taking time, man. And man, thank you for just loving the kids and loving the people that you are dealing with, man. Whether it's, in the gym or whether it's just like life, trying to work out through life and stuff. So, but we appreciate it, man. But, until the next episode, we are out, man.
All right, peace.
All right.